Good day, everyone. This is Teacher June. Again, welcome to my channel. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos to come. In our previous tutorial video, we have discussed about triangle congruence postulates, wherein we are done with SSS congruence postulate and SAS congruence postulate. So we are now down to ASA congruence postulate. ASA congruence postulate. What do we mean by ASA congruence postulate? As we can see, ASA here stands for angle, side, angle. So meaning just like SSS and SAS congruence postulate, we need to prove that three pairs of corresponding parts between two triangles are congruent before we'll be able to say that the two triangles are also congruent. Pero as we can see here, angle, side, angle, hindi siya katulad ng side angle side na kung saan sa side angle side, meron tayong tinatawag na included angle. Dito naman kay angle, side, angle, nasa gitna yung side, meaning meron din tayong tinatawag na included side. And for us to be able to understand this better, let us read this one. ASA congruence postulate. If two angles and the included side of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding angles and included side of another triangle, then the triangles are congruent. So meaning there should be two angles on the first triangle and its included side. Dapat yung two angles na yon at saka yung included side na yon should be congruent to its corresponding two angles and included side on another triangle for us to conclude that the two triangles are congruent. Ibig sabihin, para masabi natin na congruent yung dalawang triangles, dapat merong two angles at saka yung included side niya sa first triangle dapat congruent yon sa two angles and included side on the second triangle. Before I give you an example, let us first understand what included side is. When we say included side, it is the side between two angles, meaning yung side na nasa pagitan ng dalawang angles na marked or may tick marks. Okay, let's take a look at this example. We have here triangle GHI. In the first triangle, there are two angles that are marked. It is angle I and angle G. In between angle I and angle G is the included side. This one is the included side. And in this case, the included side is side GI. This side here is the included side because it's in between the two marked angles. How about in the second triangle? The two angles are angle I and angle H. So meaning the side that is between these two angles is this side here. This one is the included side and that is side HI. Lastly, we have two angles that are marked here, angle G and angle H. The side that is between these two angles is this side. Ito po yung tinatawag natin na included side and that is side GH. Okay, so since we know already what included angle is, so I think we are ready to answer the following examples. On ASA congruence postulate. Suppose we have the same triangle as we had before, triangle ABC and triangle DEF. As we can see, there are three pairs of corresponding parts that are marked On the first triangle, ang merong tick marks is angle B, side BC, and angle C. So it is angle, side, angle, or ASA. On the second triangle, the parts that have tick marks are angle E, side EF, and angle F. So meaning it is angle, side, angle, or ASA. So by simply looking at this illustration and looking at the tick marks on the two triangles, we know that there are three pairs of corresponding parts that are congruent, and those three pairs falls under ASA congruence postulate. So therefore, we can say that these two triangles here are congruent based on ASA congruence postulate. Okay, so let us give the statements saying that these corresponding parts here are congruent under ASA congruence postulate. First is angle. We have angle B corresponds to angle E. So therefore, angle B is congruent to angle E. Next is side BC corresponds to side EF. So we can say that side BC is congruent to side EF. And finally, we have angle C corresponds to angle F, or angle C is congruent to angle F. So these are three statements saying that two pairs of corresponding angles and a pair of included sides are congruent. Therefore, we can say that triangle ABC and triangle DEF are congruent. By what means we have proven that the two triangles are congruent? By ASA congruence postulate. Okay, so let's proceed to another example. Write the congruent parts and prove that the triangles are congruent. We have two triangles here, triangle BAR and triangle LKR. Again, this figure here is the same triangle as what we have in our previous video. The first triangle is triangle BAR, and the second triangle is triangle LKR. Gaya ng sinabi ko before, kung paano natin pinangalanan yung first triangle, ganun din yung way ng pagbibigay natin ng pangalan kay second triangle. So we started at B, the angle without tick mark, going to A, the angle with one tick mark, going to R, passing through the side that has one tick mark. So ganun din dito, we started from R, the angle without tick mark, going to K, the angle with one tick mark, going to R, passing through the side that has one tick mark. So we have triangle BAR and triangle LKR. But as we can see in the illustration, there are only two pairs of corresponding parts that are marked. So we need to find out one more pair of corresponding parts. As we can see, these angles here, this left angle here, and this right angle here are also congruent. Why? Because these two angles here are vertical angles. Again, when we say vertical angles, these are opposite angles. Ibig sabihin, angles na magkatapat that are formed by two intersecting lines or two intersecting line segments. And the measurement of vertical angles are congruent. So therefore, this is the third part that should be marked congruent. So we can now say that this angle here is marked angle, side, angle. In the same manner, on the second triangle, we have angle, side, angle. So we are sure that the two triangles are congruent under A, ASA Congruent Postulate. Okay, so let us give the first statement on angle. Angle A corresponds to angle K. So therefore, we can say that angle A is congruent to angle K. Next, on side, we have side AR corresponds to side KR, or side AR is congruent to side KR. And finally, we have this angle here, the vertical angles. The name of this angle here is angle BRA, and this angle here is angle LRK. So angle BRA is congruent to angle LRK. Kung mapapansin natin yung first angles, yung angle A at saka yung angle K, pinangalanan natin siya using single capital letter only kasi it's the vertex of the angle. Ganon din dito. Pero we can actually name it also like angle BAR and angle LKR. Pwede rin pong ganon. Okay, so as we can see here, on the third corresponding parts that are congruent, we have angle BRA is congruent to angle LRK, and these two angles here are congruent because they are vertical angles. And according to vertical angle theorem, two opposite angles or vertical angles formed by intersecting lines are congruent. So we have here three statements saying that the two triangles are congruent based on ASA Congruence Postulate. Therefore, we can say that triangle BAR is congruent to triangle LKR by ASA Congruence Postulate. Okay, so we are now down to our third and last example. Suppose we have two triangles again, triangle ABC and triangle CDA. Triangle ABC and triangle CDA. Again, just a reminder kung paano yung manner ng pagbibigay natin ng pangalan sa first triangle, ay ganun din dapat yung way ng pagbibigay natin ng pangalan sa second triangle. So we have here triangle ABC and triangle CDA. Okay, so as we can see in the figure, we have two pairs of corresponding angles that are marked congruent. So we are looking for another pair of parts that are congruent. Kung mapapansin natin, this side here, side AC, is actually a shared side. So therefore, we can mark this one as the third pair of parts that are congruent. So in that way, there are three pairs of corresponding parts that are marked congruent. Okay, as we can see, we have here angle, side, angle. On the second triangle, we have angle, side, angle. So it falls under angle, side, angle, or ASA. Okay, so the first statement is on the first angle. So we have this angle here and this angle here. So we have angle BAC. Ito po yun, angle BAC corresponds to angle DCA. Ito po yung DCA. So therefore, we can say that angle BAC is congruent to angle DCA. Okay, how about on the second part, on S, on side? We have side AC corresponds to side AC, or side AC is congruent to itself, or side AC is congruent to side AC. How about on the second angle? This angle here and this angle here. So we have the first angle to be angle BCA. Ito po yun. And we have angle DAC. Ito rin po yun. Therefore, we can say that angle BCA is congruent to angle DAC. And by the way, this part here is under reflexive property of congruence because this side here is congruent to itself. Okay, so we have here three statements saying that the two triangles are congruent based on ASA congruence postulate. So in conclusion, we can finally say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle CDA under ASA congruence postulate. Okay, so that's all for today. Again, God bless everyone and good day.